Okay, we have one more presentation before we go into our lunch break, and this is for us a special presentation and a special guest. He's going to be talking about the path into the digital economy. In order to be successful in today's digital economy, companies have to innovate, they have to rethink their business models. However, I'm sure you all will agree there is not just one approach that works. Companies, no matter the size or the industry, are faced with the challenge to determine how the digital transformation affects their respective businesses and how they will tackle them. Our next guest is going to explain how companies can define, how they can follow an individual path into the digital economy to fully leverage the opportunities represented by the digital transformation. So without further ado, please give a warm welcome to the member of the Executive Board and the Global Managing Board at SAP, Mr. Bernd Leukert. Hello.
Thank you. Yeah, good morning and very warm welcome from my side. It's a great pleasure for me and an opportunity to talk to you here at the CeBIT, at the global conference. A conference where we talk, of course, to technology experts, but more and more, I think as well, to decision makers, to forward thinkers, and looking at the halls here, at a hell of a lot of innovators. So to explore and debate how technology will shape the future of our business, this year's theme for CeBIT is digitization, how to transform any business in any industry into a digital business. And the interesting questions for everybody who runs a business is, how can I do this in a scalable format, and how can I do this profitable? So let me share with you on the way forward what SAP thinking is, how we can support you on that journey into the digital transformation. And one thing should be very clear here at CeBIT. The digital transformation is not just another hype. While we are talking here about future scenarios, this is not something which will happen in 3 years. This is not something which will happen in 5 years. This is happening as we are here in Hannover at CeBIT. And in many discussions here, but as well over the past couple of weeks and months, with decision makers, with board members, with CEO, it's absolutely clear that digital transformation is on top of the agenda of many companies. Actually, by end of next year, by end of 2017, close to 70% of the global 2,000 companies in Forbes will have digital transformation even at the center of their corporate strategy. And 60% of these companies expect that they will double their productivity during the transformation, or we could call it during the transition from a more human-centered, skill-based enterprise into a software-driven enterprise. So the question is how we turn this around, how we can transform ourselves as decision makers, as executives, as people who are representing companies. And only companies that will make this transition successfully will be the rising stars of the future. And one thing I can promise to you at the beginning, it will not be a one-time event which you can do over a weekend, which you can do over a week. It will be an ongoing journey because it will require cultural change. It will require process changes. It's more or less a reinvention of your entire business, of your entire business models, even in some cases. And what makes the digital transformation extremely challenging is there is not a single recipe. This is not a one-size-fits-all approach. Somebody has written down in a business book, you can read it, you can study it, you can distribute it in your company, and then it works. It's where every individual, every line of business, every process step in your company will be affected. However, where to start is the key question. We as SAP has therefore developed a digital framework that allows us to start the conversation with our thousands of customers. A digital framework which helps us to start in any aspect of the business. It can be in the core business, it can be somewhere in the edges, in the customer interaction, it can be in the area of supply chain and manufacturing, it can be an extension of your business network. That depends on the company itself. But what is clear when talking not just to customers, as well to analysts, is that data and the algorithms that you need to process this data in real time is key going forward. And you have to ask yourself, do you want to transition your company, your startup, into a software company, or do you want to focus on your core competency and rather build corporations, rather build alliances with other companies? For companies who are in business and who are successful for a long time, my recommendation is that they will enter a bimodal state. And bimodal means you live in two modes. Mode number one is a very reliable digital core. I could call it a digital business enablement platform that is running your existing business. Of course, and this is very important, connected to the future business model. And there you need an extremely agile and extremely fast development environment where you can try new things, where failure is okay as long as you fail early and learn from that. You need to serve in that second mode customers, suppliers, your employees. You need to serve an infrastructure that you are not serving with your existing core business. So what becomes clear is that you actually need both. You cannot do one without the other, otherwise you disrupt your existing business. And with that existing business and with all the customers you serve today, you have the huge opportunity to connect things, to connect maybe industries that were not connected today. So I have written down 5 building blocks, or we could call it 5 fundamental questions that you need to answer in your business. How do I engage with customers? How do I find customers? Not in the current mode, rather in the future digital mode. Number 2, differentiation and a winning strategy was always the DNA of any entrepreneur. So the question is, how do I as a company differentiate going forward? The third is an impact or is a consequence of the digitization, that the whole economy, the whole industry, or we could even call the whole society, will transition into an outcome-based economy, which is fundamentally changing your offering, your way of production, your way of service, your way of engagement. The fourth question is, how can I optimize and extend my well-working, my profitable business, which I run today, with the future business going forward? And question number 5 is extremely important, as this is the topic where many startups fail today. How can I manage a highly scalable business going forward? So it's not just a single proof point. It's not just a single scenario, which you can see here in many halls. It is the question how you can transition that great innovative idea into a scalable business, and long-term, the financial market shows this, into a profitable business. The financial market will only give you a limited amount of time to not making any profit, and we see that the economy is permanently challenging non-profitable companies. But at the center of everything you do is your customer's customer. They expect that they will be treated in a digital marketplace, in a digital format. And you have to place them at the center. You might say, okay, this was clear as well before. But this time, in a very personalized way, across multiple channels, and personalized means in a very individual way. So customer relationship management, a term which was invented 2 decades ago, was addressing business to business, was addressing business to consumer. But you see already in these 2 terms, it was a one-way from the business to your business partner, from the business to the consumer, depending on the industry you are in. But now, in a highly skilled and empowered society, everybody is digital. And the consumer is driving the way you run business. So therefore, we as SAP have redefined what it means to engage with customer. We go beyond CRM. We even say CRM is outdated. And you can see here and experience even a truck outside that we have redefined what CRM means, and we call this customer engagement and commerce. By the way, welcome Carsten, who runs that business at SAP. That means that companies need to build very intense and deep relationships with the consumers or with the business partners. And deep and intense means a fundamental understanding of everything they do in the digital world. Of course, across all the pillars of what we define customer engagement and commerce. It starts with sales, yes. Any interaction with customers starts with sales or engagement. In future, in many aspects, rather in the e-commerce sector. But it continues with marketing and service. If you are not serving all the 4 aspects, you are not serving the customer in a digital format, in a very personalized way. And therefore, a central platform with SAP Hybris, who can offer you that experience, who can even give you an understanding of the customer who you do not know personally, but where you know the digital patterns of interaction via e-commerce pages, is key going forward. Therefore, we have invested significantly, and we think as SAP, the digital transformation starts right there. But that does not mean that it stops there and you are done. Once you have changed the way of interaction, you ask yourself, the differentiation you have promised to your customer with an individual experience might be a mass product, which was a pair of shoes, which was a bottle of perfume, is now becoming an individual product, very personalized with a personalized label, very personalized with different colors of your style, maybe even a digital measurement of your 2 different feet, and 2 shoes that perfectly fits to your feet itself. That does mean still, how do you differentiate going forward from competition? And therefore, you cannot just say one size fits all. You need individual software components that helps you to differentiate yourself. So you need this second mode, which is a platform. You need a platform that allows you to extend existing standard application. You need as well a platform, not just for extending and then have silos, which sit somewhere, even in the cloud. You need a platform that is able to integrate these new digital applications with your existing business. And of course, you need to focus on the new business model. And all of that should come without big upfront investment. The time where software vendors can build software, ask for a hell of a lot of money for license, is over. There is a risk sharing. If software serves your business, if you are successful, I'm 100% sure that you want to share part of that success with the software vendors. So it needs a very flexible and agile development approach. I would even say a very agile and flexible platform which is available in the cloud. And not just having a digital technological foundation. It is as well requiring that that platform serves the needs and the requirements of your new business model, which is definitely based on industry standards, as you do not want to get locked into data centers of one of the suppliers. It needs to be a scalable platform, and it needs to support real-time business. Because when you look around, when you look at sensors, it's all about extracting the data and processing them in real time into actionable business insights and not just into a library, which was in the past physical with a lot of books, which could be in future digital with bits and bytes. That doesn't help you. And as I said before, you need to integrate these new business models with your existing processes. So that platform needs to decompose technical components like a user experience, like a mobile service, like analytical services, like IoT services with sensors, like collaboration and social services, all enabled on that platform. The platform will become the center of gravity. And with that platform, where we have an offering with the HANA Cloud Platform, we define the future of platform as a service. But it does not stop at the technology, where we service-enable entire technology components. It goes beyond into the application. So when we talked about customer engagement in commerce, with Hybris as a service, what we call IaaS, we implement microservices that allows you to consume these services on such a platform in a digestible format. It can be used in a pay-as-you-go, and the cloud gives you the elasticity you need. So these prefabricated services from technology, from applications, enhanced by, I call it always, a catalog of industry services, which are available in the cloud. This could be weather information. This could be GDP information. This could be geospatial information, zip codes. All of that should be available for future digital applications. And we offer this, and this is our definition of a HANA Cloud Platform, of a modern business platform as a service. What is next, and this is the third point, so in addition that each customer wants to have a consistent personalized experience, and wants to address the topic of an outcome economy, it is essential that you make use of the connectivity of the things that exist here, that exist in Germany, in Europe, I would call it all over the world. And we just showed our Chancellor Merkel here a nice showcase of how we can make life in cities easier, how we can make life in cities smarter. For all the people who live in the cities, for all the people who work at companies in cities, but as well, and this is the third dimension, how we can make offices, how we can make governments, and how we can relieve their life in managing countries, in managing cities, in managing entire states. So, and that is what I call Internet of Things. It is not a connectivity of a single thing. It is the combinatorics of these capabilities. And you will die, I will tell you, if you not decide on a single platform which drives that connectivity. Otherwise, you will in future be busy and you will have to hire more and more people busy with technical integration instead of thinking of new business models, instead of having creativity in your company. And according to a research which we have done with the MPI group, 76% of the manufacturing companies will increase their devices with sensor technology. They call it smart devices, and embed intelligence into these devices. And close to 70% expect significant investments into IoT-enabled products. So a product will be connected somehow to the internet. And this is what is driving discussions with all of our customers these days. And one example I have brought with me, a very traditional example, it's from Italian Railways. With them we have developed what they called a dynamic maintenance management system, powered by the real-time platform HANA. And we equipped their trains, their wagons, with sensors. With sensors that are in real time permanently transferring the state of the engine, the state of washrooms, the state of air conditionings into a central system. And this is changing the business model from maintenance, according to checklists, according to used hours or kilometers or miles driven, into a predictive maintenance system. So a train and a wagon only goes into maintenance when it's necessary. But it goes into maintenance as well when it's necessary. While in the past, the trains have been running whether the air conditioning was working, the trains have been running whether the bathroom was working or not. I mean, we all know the situation in trains where bathroom closed. Nice experience. And on top of improving the experience, in this case for the guests in the train, which is for all the people, it saves Italian railways 8 to 10% on an annual basis of their maintenance cost, which is a triple-digit million euro number, year by year. And I have brought with me a small video, because I would love to let the customer speak instead of myself, and just experience for 3 minutes how Italian railways went its path into the digital economy. Can we run the video?
Trenitalia is the leading Italian rail transport operator, wholly owned by the Gruppo Ferrovie dello Stato Italiane SPA. We carry about 2 million passengers every day, with volumes of up to 250 million train kilometers on an annual basis. We are organized into different business units, which cover long-distance passenger transport, commuter traffic, and freight services on both a national and international basis.
Our goal is to carry out conditional maintenance, rather than, as has previously been the case, according to a fixed schedule based on time or number of kilometers.
The new dynamic maintenance management system is a project developed in partnership with SAP, which exploits the full potential of the SAP HANA platform. One aspect that puts us ahead of the competition in the transportation market is the large amounts of data managed on an annual basis, which will exceed 700 terabytes.
The ETR 1000 is a technologically advanced train which is designed to reach a speed of up to 360 kilometers per hour. In a high-speed system, everything, the entire system, must run at the same speed. So it's vital that maintenance facilities can react rapidly to operational stresses as well.
For the railway sector, the most innovative aspect of the Internet of Things is the large number of sensors that are on board the trains. The sensors record many different parameters, like temperatures, pressures, and so on. The data is processed by SAP HANA, and the system then provides the rules to define the required maintenance actions.
To be able to anticipate events and maintenance operations will enable our company to reduce errors and make processes more efficient, and also deliver better services with continuously improving quality standards.
We expect a reduction of maintenance costs of 8 to 10%, which, for our company, is a very significant value, because every year we spend around 1.3 billion euro on maintenance. It will also improve the reliability of trains, and with that, we have less failures and a better availability. Therefore, we will have more trains available to provide more services. In that way, we can provide a better service to our customers.
SAP helps Trenitalia run simple.
So it sounds easy, but I tell you it's not. This was a hell of a lot of work, which the team of Trenitalia and SAP did. We could say just put a few sensors, put them into trains, connect them, and then you have the savings. There are still challenges, and let's not hide them. There is different sources of information. There are different type of sensors who transfer the signals in different formats. There are questions of what is the frequency of consumption of that information? How do you validate the correctness? All of these questions have been answered in that project and in many more projects. So IoT is real today, but it's not a walk in the park. We as SAP have defined a series of standard applications like connected manufacturing, like predictive maintenance here with Trenitalia, like a network logistics hub, like a vehicle network, which allows you to use a car as a digital platform and provide digital services into that car, like an asset intelligence network. And an asset can be everything from what you see here in our shop floor, can be a stadium. In this case, it's the Stadium of Munich, but it can be as well a theater, a facility. And all of these capabilities will accelerate the adoption of IoT. But I would say it even in a way that only the possibilities of your imagination define the limit of the Internet of Things. So while we transform a lot of things, while we transform business models, there is one thing that is essential, and this was this mode I was talking at the beginning of my speech. A mode where you need a digital, reliable core in order to execute on the different engagement with the customer, in order to execute on the insights you get from these IoT scenarios. And this digital core is somehow the central nervous system of your company that connects you with the customers, with the resources, with the people, with the suppliers. And that central nervous system needs to have a maximum flexibility. If you have an old core, which is not flexible, which is not able to being adapted to these new capabilities, you will not have the speed, you will not have the rollout, you will not have the scale. I was talking about why startups fail. This might be the reason as well why big companies fail. And therefore, with S/4HANA, you need that next generation digital core that has that simplicity in the data model, that has the speed, and that has the capability to respond in an agile way. And while we have been talking a lot of, in a lot of examples about execution, this digital transformation, and this is my last point, has to reach as well the decision makers of your company. The people who are day in and day out analyzing data, slicing and dicing data. So we talk about real-time reporting, real-time analytics, but it has to be combined with planning and with simulation. These capabilities, which have been in the past separate tools, separate products, has to be combined. We call it a digital boardroom, like we use it at SAP, and a product with cloud for analytics that can consume data from an on-premise system, that can consume data from a cloud system, that acts in a digital format and is in real time bringing you the information, not just at the operational level, as well at the strategic board level. And the beauty of this approach is that the cloud and the innovation is the delivery mechanism of the capability. While if security, if data privacy is an important asset, and I heard it yesterday at the welcome night, that security is under the top 3 themes any company is thinking about in these scenarios, this can be addressed with that architecture. So let me summarize. I think the building blocks are there. The building blocks are provided by SAP to provide you best-in-class applications. A digital core that supports your existing business and is having the flexibility for your future business. A digital platform, which is essential in the automotive industry. Those people who are working in the automotive industry know the economies of scale of a platform is essential going forward. A platform that is, of course, serving all the needs of traditional platforms, but is as well serving structured, unstructured data that has a set of algorithms in the area of predictive, in the area of machine learning, in the area of deep learning, and a platform that is open, a platform that is not forcing you into a vendor lock-in. You can run this platform either in a data center of a partner, in a data center of SAP, and if you want, as well in your own data center, fully integrated and open. So I feel the assets are available. It's up to you to turn the opportunity into a profitable business. With that, I would like to thank you for your attention. Wish all of you an interesting and very successful CeBIT 2016. Thanks a lot.